J.Beau's back again. Hi everybody. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. As we go for a partly sunny walk. Ooh. Is that an osprey or an eagle? Turn around so I can see your head up there. That is an osprey. Pretty big birds. They circle around. So today we're going to do 5 miles. Why not, right? I have the 360 camera with me. Not sure where or what I'm going to film in 360 because 360 pretty much is good when you're in the middle of the 360 sphere. So walking along the road and you see something cool, this camera right here does the same thing. It's not really much for other people to look at unless you're actually on or in something. As you can see, we get some pretty beautiful clouds today. Now, it was just spitting raindrops with the sun out. So some of these clouds have some moisture in them. So we got a few things to talk about today. First one we're going to talk about is the internet does what it does, and this is why a lot of info you get online can't really pay attention to it as being true. Just because a lot of people are talking about it like it is, doesn't mean it is. What's the latest one I'm talking about? Well, the latest one was Trump died. Trump is dead. Because he hadn't been on camera for 3 days, if you can believe that. So basically what this means is Trump has been working very hard. He's always doing something every day. And then he had 3 days where he wasn't on camera doing something. And people were freaking out. So, didn't matter that he was posting on Truth Social. Oh, that could be an intern. That could be, you know. So, these leftists were convinced Trump had died. They were getting all happy. They were posting videos celebrating Trump dying. Oh God, I hope it's true. I hope it's true. I hope Donald Trump is dead, they were saying. So, that wasn't the case. So much to their chagrin, President Trump showed up this morning playing golf at Mar-a-Lago. And the libs are all disappointed that Trump's not dead. Oh well. Guess I'll just have to get over it. As you can see, it's a beautiful day today. And it is pretty funny when we get these ridiculous rumors that start circulating. Some people just need help. They have Trump derangement syndrome, probably never going to recover. So that's what we have to deal with, my friends. I think I'm going to have to take my shoe off and shake a rock out of it. Now, where the hell does this trail go? It's a bike trail. All right, I got to take a rock out of my shoe. I'm not going to go investigate that trail. But I'm going to try to see what's on the other side of this trail using the Apple Maps or Google Maps. Apple Maps have actually a more detailed, high-definition view. So, I do have to get this rock out of my shoe, though. Find a spot I can do that. We walked this route once before. It's going to be slightly different today because the last time I walked up, oh yeah, that's where that woman took her panties off there in front of me and went to the bathroom in the sewer grate. The one that was high on drugs or something. Red thong panties, if I remember correctly. Alright, so right now I am going to change my shoe, get the rock out of it. Be right back. Alright, my friends, my walking buddies. Alright guys, I got the rock out of my damn shoe. Life is good. So yes, the rumors online were false. President Trump was not dead. So I'm going to turn the camera around. And what's really funny about these guys doing that is there are historical references. Okay, there are historical references about the protocols and what they do when a president dies in office. But because Trump's a dictator, he wouldn't be honest with the public about it. That's what these people are saying, despite the fact that there is constitutional protocol there. He wouldn't have a choice in the matter. He'd be dead, okay? So there would be no reason to fake or feign anything. There's nothing to gain by keeping Trump alive if he's not. So right here I'm in a breakdown lane, which actually has a bicycle symbol on the track. So this means it's okay to walk on, but you still have cars coming at your back, which I don't like. So I'm going to cross to the other breakdown lane, which also has bike things in it. So anyway, like I was saying, if a president dies in office, we have set precedent on what they do to take care of that. Okay? We've had presidents die in office. I believe we've had a heart attack, we've had assassinations, 2 of them, a couple of them, and the Vice President of the United States gets sworn in almost immediately as president. They transfer power. They retake their oath as president of the United States because they are no longer vice president. We saw this happen real time in the 1960s with the Kennedy assassination. I didn't see it happen, but it was broadcast. The president was killed, and while his body was being transferred, actually before it was, the vice president was sworn in as president immediately, with Jackie Onassis standing right next to him just after her husband had been killed. So this is not something that would be hidden from the public. And to be honest with you, you can tell when that kind of news is false or not when you put it on CNN and you're not seeing Anderson Cooper uncontrollably masturbating all over his desk in joy and excitement that Trump has died. So, kind of see where I'm getting with that? I think we would kind of know, because there's always a press pool located around the president 24 hours a day in case something happens. Could be a nuclear war, it could be some kind of emergency that comes up 3 o'clock in the morning. There's always a press pool around. And the press corps of the White House would be absolutely bothered endlessly if something like that were true. So it's pretty easy to find out it's not true. That would be a pretty big conspiracy to keep secret from people, which would have no benefit. What benefit would it be to keep Trump alive? J.D. Vance would be sworn in, and I would be good with that. So, just one of those things I was thinking about after seeing all the brouhaha on the internet yesterday and last night. They showed a picture of Trump with a bruise on his hand. People are convinced he's dying. Simple fact is, he's on aspirin therapy or blood thinners, whatever. There have been many people his age on that, especially given the vein problem in his leg. Blood clots would be a pretty easy thing to have happen in your leg. I had a cousin they found dead on the kitchen floor because of a blood clot in his leg that went up to his lung. I think he was only 42 at the time. So he's the president of the United States, and they watch him carefully, okay? So if there was any kind of thing like that, we would know about it very quickly, and they would be sending people out to calm the public, to let them know there would be a peaceful transfer. There's protocols for that, and not to worry about it. So we're gonna go down here and look at some ducks. See the ducks. I'll turn this around. There's some quackers right there. This is the boat launch. We came down last time. That I didn't stay long because somebody was down here. And you can see the river is low. We've got some quackers. down this way. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw on the 360 camera, and we'll get a 360 clip. Okay? You want to play a video game? Oh look, an Xbox controller washed up on the beach. I guess there's one less gamer in the world. So this is incredibly low right here. So the river is officially low. Despite the rain we just had. And this is why you walk with me. I get to look at things that usually water goes up to, that is no longer going up to it. And it kind of looks cool. So I don't know what that pipe there is doing. Don't even know if that's legal or not. It's just going out into the river. Must be dumping something, or they're withdrawing water for some kind of production, or they're dumping something, which I don't think they would be doing, because the rules around here are very, very strict for that. Extremely strict. Like your business would never open again strict. Alright guys, check out the 360 playlist for the couple of video segments I just shot of this area. You want to see a 360 view. And hopefully my fly was not unzipped, which would not be the case with these pants because they button. Alright, so now I'm going to restart my walking app. And we'll walk up the boat ramp, and we'll say goodbye to the river for now. Beautiful day today. Absolutely gorgeous. Yesterday, not so much. Yesterday we had a lot of rain. A lot of rain, which was actually good. And some people parked here, take a break, sending text. You can come here to eat lunch, whatever you want to do. Right now we're going to mosey on with the walk. And the 360 camera started recording with a pocket recording. Once again. And I was careful with it. So I have transferred it to my pocket just above my knee. And you can tell when the camera's on because it gets hot, because the batteries get super hot. Now these clouds here look kind of thunderstormish, which I'm hoping we don't get any of that while I'm walking, because being on the side of the road like this in the open on flat ground is not where I want to be during a lightning storm, for obvious reasons. I'm carrying a selfie stick made out of metal with an electronic device on the end of it, and I'm pretty sure I would turn into a human lightning rod. I should research that actually. How many people have been struck by lightning while using a selfie stick? I'm gonna have to ask myself that. So anyways, I shall be cautious. Now we got a spot up ahead with this old kind of canal, water-driven industrial assembly thing up ahead, and you know, I'm not going to 360 record that because the only way that would look good is if I was down in the water. Because behind it, all you're going to see is this road. So with the 360 camera, I'm going to record for content because there's so much effort involved with disk space, converting files, file sizes. It's crazy. And even the worst picture quality you choose to get a smaller size, those are big too. And they don't look very good. I tested one of those at a ball field and it looked kind of blocky. So it is what it is. I think the best thing would be live streaming in 360. That would probably be pretty cool. I don't even know if you could do that. So I saw a guy's channel on YouTube. He has Bigfoot in his name, okay? He's one of those people that believe in Bigfoot. And there's a lot of these people trying to keep that dream alive, okay? Turn the camera around. So this guy has a video because he goes hiking on trails. He's in Maine, okay? A guy in Maine. He goes hiking on trails. It seems like most of his videos, he's walking in the woods. It's like, oh, I hear something. Oh, look at this bended branch. Oh, look at this branch that's broken. I think it's Bigfoot. And this guy's serious, okay? It's like every other video on his channel, Bigfoot's around. And it's kind of funny because at the same time, he interjects that he's not a crackpot. Well, I've lived in Maine a long time, and there's really no Bigfoot rumors here, except from people like him. There's a mythical creature called the Katahdin, and that's actually appeared in movies, one with Tony Curtis. Forgot the name of the movie. I see the cover of the DVD. It's not The Prophecy. It's The Legacy, I want to say. Not The Legacy. It might be Prophecy. Well, whatever it is, it's a creature, and the movie is supposedly filmed in Maine. I haven't seen it for quite a few years, so I don't remember the title. But basically this creature was upset because the lumberjacks were cutting down forest, and these Native Americans were protesting to protect the forest. And supposedly Katahdin, which is a Native American name, mythical creature, came to protect the forest by killing the loggers. So, kind of an interesting movie, I thought, anyway. Just share that with you. But this guy, he hikes out in the woods, and one of his latest videos, he's like, oh my God, something hit me in the shoulder. And it wasn't like it hit straight down, he said. It was like a push. Bigfoot. Because I heard something before it happened. And he does things like he'll be walking through the woods and he'll hear a noise and go, "Hey bear, hey bear." That's supposed to be some kind of bear communication, I guess. Apparently to let the bear know that you're friendly because it understands English. So I don't know, man. Takes all kinds. That's all I'm saying. Crazy stuff. So we got some brush overgrowth over here. Turn the camera around for a second. I just wanted to tell you about this guy. So many crazy people on YouTube. Maybe I'm one of them. Who knows? I hope people don't think I'm crazy. Not much of a bike lane here. They got bicycles painted on it, but it's been overtaken by brush. This is kind of bamboo stuff, we used to call it. And you get these Japanese beetles. We used to see these multicolored Japanese beetles, shiny chrome-like shells, chrome like silver, multiple colors. I'm not seeing any to show you what I'm talking about. But if you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to get to 5 miles in today. So we follow along the river trail. A lot of overgrowth here. There we go. We're thinning out a little bit. So today for the 360 camera, I did bring the second battery. And that is important because I did get over an hour out of one battery on a test recording. Of course, it was sitting stationary with nothing going on. Got a breeze today. Those clouds look a little ominous, my friends. Hope we don't get too much rain because the 360 camera is not waterproof. But I do have a backpack, an LL Bean one that I'm wearing, which is somewhat water resistant. And we get the river down there, yeah. And head on down by the river. Isn't that beautiful? It is a nice day today, my friends in Maine and my friends elsewhere. I do want to thank everybody that watches these videos. I get a lot of interesting comments. Very interesting. So it looks like the appellate court is blocking Trump's tariffs again, which means it's going to go to the Supreme Court and Trump's going to get his way because he has the authority to do tariffs. The argument seems to be the method in which Trump did it, declaring an emergency over fentanyl. And the data is going to show that so many thousands of Americans were being killed by fentanyl, it was a national emergency. Now, what pisses me off is I saw a CBS News report dated last week where the CBS News report was covering the cartels and the border since Trump has been president. And they didn't really have anything bad to say. But what killed me was when they said that 96%, all right, 96% of the fentanyl that comes into the United States was coming across the border on the south from the cartels. That is completely the opposite of what the media tried to say when Trump wanted to build a wall in his first term. It's not even coming in from the southern border. What a waste of money the wall is. That's what the media narrative was. So Trump was right again. Trump's right about everything. You have to admit that. It always turns out to be true. And that's what happened. So anyway, now people acknowledge that over 90% of the fentanyl coming into the country, killing thousands of Americans, not hundreds, okay, thousands. Thousands of Americans every year are dying from fentanyl because they don't know they're taking it. That's the biggest problem. These drug dealers don't give a crap about you at all, and they cut the drugs. Fentanyl is very cheap. It's made in huge quantities in China. Pennies, less than pennies. I mean, it's wicked cheap. And it takes very little of it to quote unquote get high. If you touched a little pile of it somewhere with your fingertip, it would absorb through your fingertips and you would overdose and die immediately. It would be immediate. So what they're doing is, a lot of times they're in their labs, they're making a synthetic drug to begin with, and then they cut it with fentanyl. One, the fentanyl is going to create a new addict, a returning customer. And, you know, somebody thinks they're taking Xanax or Adderall. Even if they take one where they don't overdose, they'll get really high from it, and they'll go, wow, this is pretty good. And then they'll realize that after a while that they're actually addicted to fentanyl. You know, what the hell do you do about that? We're going to go over and look at the river from the other side of the street. As soon as I get a hole in traffic where everybody's coming all of a sudden, I'm going to hop over this. This is actually a trail, and I don't think this trail's very long. It's kind of a little park. To have a look-see. See what's on down this way. I've never checked out this little park here, so I don't know what's here. I can see some paved trails. Let's see where it goes. goodness. Look at that shot. This will be worth looking at, I think. I think I am going to do a 360 right here. Check out the 360 playlist for the next video shot. This is actually pretty cool. All right. Down at the riverside here in this park. Some beautiful clouds. It is a pretty sky, so I'm going to get another shot both ways. Oh, what a beautiful view. I hate to say it, despite parts of Lewiston being a crap hole, there's plenty of good to look at. So the other thing about having the 360 in my pocket that's on my thigh on the cargo pants is that the weight of the camera tells me I have something in my pocket. So if the camera was so light that I might lose it, that would be not so good. Because then if you lost it, you wouldn't know. So the last time we walked down this way, we went up this hill here, and then I had a difficult time getting my 5 miles. So what I'm going to do today is walk a little further, a little farther, I should say. That's one of those words, further, farther. Which one do you use? We're going to walk further to walk farther than we did last time. That's how that gets used. Now this is Lower Lincoln Street. Where I was friends with the Pepins, who owned a building down here, and an apartment building. And they were renting apartments. And I did some band stuff with the bass player in the family when I was about 19 or 20, many moons ago. So I'm going to cut across the street. We'll cut across here because we're going to go up by the canal. And then head on back up Lisbon Street Hill, Bleachery Hill, and that should make my 5 miles, at least. Excuse me. So this walk has taken longer today because I'm sightseeing. But I paused my walking app when I wasn't walking, and I also was not recording on this camera because I paused to record on the other camera. So I stopped recording. So this part I'm walking in right now is not a crime-infested neighborhood where you have to worry about being attacked. Quite a few years ago, that wasn't the case either. But it is one of the poorest areas. So It all depends where the people that sell drugs and do the crimes that come in from other states set up shop. And they set up shop more downtown. This whole area at one time used to all be mill workers, because the mills were here along the river, actually right over there. We've walked by them before. So people would go walk to work. And the same people that owned the mills owned all these buildings and apartments. So people were renting from the people that employed them. So the employment people, paying people wages, which weren't high enough to begin with, were getting a lot of their money back. What a racket, huh? Yeah, there's, you know, taxes they had to pay, or found ways not to pay. But you can see those are all very poor looking apartment buildings. Right now they're all full of migrants, but there's not a big crime problem down here. So, at least that I know about or hear about. But you can see those are tenement buildings that are pretty low income. Snock Street over there. Oxford Street, sorry. Oxford Street. Knox Street is somewhere else. So we're going to head on up. I'm going to take a right up here. So a gun store opened on this corner, where that corner variety store name is on that store. And it wasn't open very long because, for one thing, they opened up right around when the pandemic was starting. So that didn't help them. Or maybe it did. But he didn't have good connections for prices, because his prices for ammo and everything else was way too high. And I realized he probably overpaid for that ammo because he needed stock for his new store. So that was not a good time for a new gun store to open during one of the worst ammo shortages that we've seen in many, 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 many moons. So anyway, we have never walked up this way, I don't believe. And there used to be a city swimming pool over there. Doesn't look like it's there anymore. Oh well. I used to be a lifeguard at that pool for 2 summers. That was pretty good. I had 2 part-time jobs. One of them was getting paid to play kickball and give kids breakfast in the mornings. And I've told that story before, where I used to be one of those poor kids that went down and got the free breakfast, cereal boxes at the tot lot. And then I was doing that, so that was kind of interesting. And over here, I'm not going to have room to walk here. So I'm not even going to try. No sidewalk. So we'll go over on this side, and then we'll cross over. We'll take the damn long route, son of a bitch. I don't feel like getting hit by a car and ending up in the canal with a broken back, unable to swim, and drowning in a few feet of water. That's about 15-20 feet down, maybe more. You have come here before with me when this water was drained, recently actually. So that's a nice shot, I think. That looks good on my LCD screen anyways. And we get the view up the other way, which is not as nice. Now I'm going to meander my way over this way because I gotta walk up Lisbon Street anyway. And yes, I planned this out, but my brother and I were talking about this mural on this building. That was painted in 2023. And it says, we'll see it in a second. Now we're edging on towards the part of town that is not very savory. Now this used to be Carol's music store, Carol's Music. We had a lot of places down here like Alibaba's Cave, an arcade, was also here. So anyway, that is the mural we were talking about, which is the Lewistonopoli. All right, I'll get the. Now this kind of mural I like. Okay, it's not weird psychedelic looking stuff. It's actually something. And I do know the people that own the pawn shop are conservative Republicans. So they probably said, yeah, we don't mind if you paint on our building as long as it's not that stupid pastel psychedelic crap like San Francisco. So we've got the Lewistonopoli here. I'll leave it here for a second so you can try to read what's on there if you want. Then over here we have Ray Charles, Diana Ross, Dolly Parton, and Elvis, Prince, Phil Collins, the Beatles, we got Freddie from Queen. So we'll walk up to this. Hope I don't get hit. I'm in the street. Come by like this. We'll get a pan by so you can see. And then I'm going to get a pan by. No talking. Alrighty. So I wanted to get this shot today, and that's that old painting on that building that's been there since I was a kid. The National Soda Cracker. You need a biscuit. 5 cents, sold only in packages. The National Biscuit Company. That goes way back to the turn of the last century. A lot of these buildings down here are very old. Some of them burned to a crisp. This is a pawn shop here, Lewiston Pawn Shop, which I used to go in here when I was a young teenager, and I used to buy used vinyl records here. They used to have a room upstairs with a whole bunch of records. Most of them were in terrible shape, but I still have the ones I bought. I still have them. They're still okay. And used to come down here and look at their guitars, which they still have on the wall in here. You can see Jackson, banjos. And so they got all kinds of cool stuff in here. This was a good place to come down and find a lot of mediocre brand guitars, I would call them, because they were not high quality guitars, because usually people that have to go pawn their guitars, they don't have much money, or they've run into a hard time, and they didn't have expensive guitars to begin with, but they have a lot of cool guitars. So the Country Kitchen Bakery is still down here. Smell bread cooking. So I have not recorded on this part in quite a long time. So I thought we'd come down and see what's shaking. This is where we used to romp around when we were kids. We lived right up the street up here. Of course, this wasn't here. Parking garage. And we'll go across the street. One-way street here. Now, there used to be a pawn shop. Sorry. There used to be a pawn shop in here years ago where I would come buy used video games. Just a little nook in the corner right here, a little nook in the wall. I wanted to get a shot of this parking garage. We're going to head on down this way. There's the Acme Social Club. It's still there. There you go, Pop. Social Club is still there. How about that? How about that? Now, we used to have things in this. This is the kind of neighborhood when we were kids that had everything in it. You had the unemployment office over there. You had 2 grocery stores within walking distance for the most part. You had a movie theater, drugstore, a local grocery that would deliver groceries. You could also have a tab there if you didn't have the money. There was a bar and grill. It's like a little grill. You can get cheeseburgers, stuff like that. So we lived up that hill. We're on Maple Street, which is pretty run down now and not very nice. The neighborhood's pretty much gone now, but anyway, that's where we grew up. So I like to come down here. I used to fill up my bike tires at that air pump, which is still there. It's not the same air pump, but it's the same location. It's where the other one used to be. The air used to be free. I'm so old, I remember when air didn't cost anything. Yeah, I'm going to be one of those guys, okay? I want to make sure I was still recording my walking on my app. And that's the kind of thing now, you know, I gotta stop recording to switch cameras. So I stop my app because I'm not walking and it's just adding time and it gives me a poor cardio performance. I mean, I'm the only one that sees that, so it doesn't matter, but it's just one of those things. I like to have an accurate picture of my walks and the benefits of it. Caloric expenditures. So this used to be the unemployment office down here, as well as one of the welfare offshoots. Tell you what, that building right there is old. The wood inside it, it's got all wood floors, wood pylons, wood ceilings. A lot of the floorboards in there are soaked with oil from years of having machines with grease. And I used to work there. That is the Martin's distribution warehouse that supplies the multiple Martin stores with supplies. They're a salvage and surplus. So when I worked there, we would have like trailer trucks come in from down south from floods. We'd have to be careful there weren't any poisonous snakes in the back of the trailer. And it was pretty wild. But anyway, sometimes things happen. Like one time, one of the sisters was working in there. She's one of the family members that owned it. She was working and she set a pallet down on top of a spray paint can. And the can exploded, caught fire, caught the whole pallet on fire. And I'm telling you right now, that place right there, once there was a fire going in there, it's not going out. Because those floorboards are soaked with oil and grease. And that would be a huge fire. I'm sure they're insured heavily for that. So if that ever burns, maybe you'll remember I said that. So this is something here we used to walk up this way in the 1970s. This has not changed. Well, maybe that ramp has. That wasn't there. But this building is the same. It hasn't changed. Neither is that gas station. Now that sign says 224 unleaded. Look at that. 224 for gas today. It came down really quick. Just 3 days ago we were walking, and what was I doing? I was complaining about $3.22 at Cumberland Farms, and it was $3.19 at Irving. Then a couple nights ago it was $3.10. It dropped 12 cents. And now we're around $2.50. So it came down really quick after spiking up. So a really strange behavior right now with some things. So this is the Arrow Heart, as we used to call it. Main Thread Company. Don't know if that's what that still is or if that's just an old sign. It's got a sign to lease. This is all garbage containers down here, trash cans. Like we got one that says 54 Knox Street. So it's a garbage company supplier, I guess. There's dumpsters over there and some big dumpsters. Good lot to store them in, I guess. So we walked up on this side of the street last time. I'm going to cut across over here. I'm not going to head over to the rock quarry, which is just over this hill. That can be on another trip, which we've never looked at. But there was a guy I knew in school who ended up getting some brain damage because he was high on something and he jumped off a cliff that's about 5 stories, and he lived, but he was messed up. He was messed up. Still is, I'm sure. Haven't seen him for a while. I'll just say his name's John. I ain't gonna say his last name on here. Walk by the weed store. Get your weed here. Get your rolled weed here. So I'm gonna go up the hill here. And when we were kids, we went up this hill many times, either on a bicycle. And pretty much the only way you could get up here was to go up a hill. This hill just wasn't as bad as the one on the next block or two over. Which is another hill we went down a while back. So we'll head on up this way. That's that hill I was telling you about. You can see the logistics involved in mowing that. Probably not very easy to mow at all. And we just had the black guy up here threw something on the ground. It looks like he's messed up on something. So I'm going to walk by here quickly and cautiously. I'm not going to shove a camera in his face. I'm going to put it down here. So I don't know what the hell that was all about. I don't want to know. I'm going to walk on this way. I don't know what it is, you know, certain group of people. And I'm not going to say what that is, you already know. They just don't care about anything, nothing. There's no remorse, no empathy, just where's my shit? Where's my stuff? You want to watch some funny videos on YouTube? Do a search for fatigue. People are getting fatigued with inner city behavior. They're getting tired of it. And there's all kinds of recorded examples of it. Traffic disputes, people rip your mirror off, break your window. Insult the hell out of you because you didn't have enough ice in their drink in the drive-thru. Calling you racial slurs because you're white. I have not seen so much entitlement to be racist like that and it to be excused with no repercussions. You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with the internet, social media, because you can say whatever you want to somebody and they're not going to turn around and smack you in the face. So they do that in public. You know, I'm not going to say what people should do, but I think you know what I'm saying. So this is a Burger King here, which I want to go by because I used to love coming here. And this side that the drive-thru was on used to have a view of the street, and that's where I used to sit with my mom at Burger King and my brother Jim, more often than not. Have some fries and a double Whopper, whatever. So now the restaurant is on this side, which I guess I guess it could make do with that, I guess. At least you can see part of what we used to see. And I used to stop in at Burger King here, have a meal, and then I would walk down this way, walk on down to the Flagship Cinemas, where I saw Smokey and the Bandit, Land That Time Forgot, saw some other good movies there. So, you know, that was late 70s. You know, and that's memories that I like. That's just, you know, just how it is. I'm kind of a nostalgic person, actually, very. That's why I have Star Wars collectibles, and that's why I like certain types of firearms. A lot of the modern style stuff is okay. You do a mix, you know what I mean? Do a mix. This is that Popeye chicken, Popeyes. There is always a long line every time I go by here. That should tell you that the food's good. Probably the prices too for chicken. Now a lot of people like KFC. Never had Popeye's chicken. KFC, the last time I had some, it was not as good as how it used to be, so I never bothered with it again. So I would definitely try this chicken. Got a little restaurant in there if you want to eat. Popeyes. Alright, right now I gotta focus on crossing over here without dying. Up this way. Good sweat dripping again. So over here it says Midtown Social Club. And I remember in the 90s, early 90s, I believe that was, you could rent movies there. It was a movie video rental. Kind of has that video rental look building, doesn't it? But the Midtown Social Club used to be downtown, and it moved up here. And they get plenty of people parked. This is the emergency exit over here. Interesting. So the other thing I want to talk about towards the end of this walk, turn the camera around, is Washington, D.C. and President Trump's crackdown on Washington, D.C. can be credited with this, but there was a mass shooting, possibly in a school. And I say possibly because the mass shooting was thwarted, if there was going to be one, because a young person that went to the school was making a lot of threats on the internet, social media, and it was reported. And the ATF, FBI, and other people, because of what's going on in DC right now, investigated it. They tracked down the student, and he had several firearms illegally possessed with high-capacity magazines, and so they seized those, Now, there's no evidence he was going to do a mass shooting, but he was running his mouth off like he was going to, and he had all those guns. So he illegally had those firearms to begin with. So that Washington, D.C. school probably averted a mass shooting because somebody saw something and said something. So I guess what I'm getting at is, if you see something, say something. Don't be afraid of it sounding like, you know, like you might be wrong, or it might seem ridiculous. Very important to say something. So anyways, I'm gonna walk on down this way. And you can tell we're at the end of summer. You can see all the overgrowth on some property. So go up this way. Hi, how are you? So we have a rather large caravan that went by. I took the courtesy of not turning the camera around and filming them. Both of them morbidly obese. Okay, so feel bad about that. Here we got a rooftop. Rooftop of a building. My clever on-the-scene reporting. Got a nice breeze. The sun's gone away. It's cooling off. The high temperature today was only 69, so it's starting to get cool. But I do have a pretty good sweat going. So I'm going to record with you a little bit more. And you know, I enjoy going for these walks. I hope you enjoy them. There's a lot of stuff to look at that you may not have looked at where you live in a long time, and you may want to check that out. So I took a longer walking route today, and I'm still under 5 miles. So I got to fine-tune this route to add some distance somewhere to make up 5 miles that I can end where I started. So what I'm going to do is go up the hill ahead, record a little more till I get where I want to be time-wise. I think we'll stay on this side of the road. I feel like crossing the street. There's a neighborhood over there. But I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to walk straight ahead. Thanks. I'll walk up this way past Mickey D's. McDonald's. Yep, there we go. We had somebody on the wrong side of the traffic island. She's in a Volvo. Safe car, at least. McDonald's. through. I really thought I added more distance to get my 5 miles. Dadgum. Dadgummit. I just got 4.5 miles. So I got to come up with another mile on this route. But I don't want to walk up this way to get it. I am going to pick up some milk though. Not up ahead here, but on the way back. I need some milk. It's always milk. So we're having a good walk today. Very nice. Enjoyable, as they say. So up ahead here, I'll turn around and come back this way. As exciting as that'll be, which it won't be. At the car wash. Strange pedal bike. It's like a little pedal mini bike, scooter or something. Looks like he's not having to torque too hard to go, so it actually looks like it's geared right proper. See, now we get 319 up here. 329 for regular. And we just saw couple of the side gas stations. It's about 250. So my brother texted me a picture today from Virginia. It's about 250, 247, 249, something like that. I don't know where that goes. I might explore this neighborhood more on the maps, and looks like we got some weather coming, so I'm going to be looking to wrap up this walk up ahead. Get some wind kicking up. Hope we don't get a tornado or something. So I'm going to head back this way, sign off with you guys, buy some milk, call it a day. I got sand in my eyes. Yeah, that definitely feels like some weather coming. Sounds like it too. I bet all you can hear is... Sorry about that. Stuff we do to avoid getting a large rear end, huh? Yesterday I managed to walk right in between the two big sections of rain we had. So that worked out very well. I got a good shot of that car. So we got nice view out there. You can actually see the sun coming down from the clouds through there, streaking. Looks like we have some ominous weather. Ominous. So I'll walk down here with you guys. I got a car down here in the parking lot. The mobile service checking out their vehicle. Looks like some migrants. Car's not running. Can't get it started. Don't know what's wrong with it. But anyways, the weather was nice until it wasn't nice. Coming up on 5 miles, this wind's really picking up. Got some bad weather coming in. Don't know what that'll be yet. We'll see. Down this way while everybody is going through the drive-through. Well, my friends, I'm going to sign off with you guys. Thank you very, very much. Thanks. Thank you very much for walking with me today. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. Feeling a couple raindrops. And it's kind of weather like that today. And I just hit 5 miles. So anyways, my friends, signing off with you at the 5 mile mark. God bless you and your family. Say a prayer for Trump and the country. And no, Trump isn't dead. He's alive. He's playing golf today. Labor Day weekend. It's one of those things where they hadn't heard from Trump and he's got nothing scheduled for 3 days. What are they hiding? It's Labor Day weekend. I think everybody has nothing scheduled for 3 days. So, most people anyway. So anyways, my friends, until the next walk, God bless. See you later, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy Labor Day weekend if I don't see you before then, which you will. But, ciao. I gotta go get some milk. See ya.